This demonstration we're going to look at creating mailbox databases and also managing those databases. In an earlier demo what we did is we connected through to an iSCSI target. On that iSCSI target we've already created 3 disks. So now what we're going to do is just prepare those disks to be used as shared storage for our Exchange servers. To come to the first disk, I'm just going to bring that disk online. Now I'm going to initialize that disk and we'll initialize it with the MBR partition. Once we've initialized it, we'll create a new simple volume. So we'll select next, we'll go for the 2 gig, happy with the E drive, but what I will do is I will just change the volume label, and we're going to change our volume label to be DB1. We'll perform the quick format and we'll finish that off. Now that one's done, we'll do the same with disk 2, so we'll bring it online, we'll initialize it with MBR again. And again what we'll do is create a new simple volume. We'll use all 2 gig, go with the F drive, and we'll make this one DB2. And then finally what we'll do is go for the 3rd disk. And what we'll do is we'll initialize this one as well after we've bought it online. And we're going to use this one for logs. So we'll go for a new simple volume, select our next button, go for the 500, go for the G drive, but we'll call it logs, and we'll format all that off. Once that's formatted off, next thing to do is we don't need computer management anymore. We'll get rid of that, get rid of all these formats, but we will keep server manager because I will require at some point, I will require my services. So we'll launch that up as well. And now what we'll do is we'll just come to our Exchange Admin Center. In our Exchange Admin Center, what we're going to do at this point here is we're now going to create some databases. So we come to our servers, and on our servers what we're going to do is we're going to come to databases, and what we're going to do is create a new database. So we'll click the plus button. It's going to ask us for a name. I'll call it MB1. I'm going to put that on my server lon-ex1. Happy with the default locations, because what we're going to do as part of this demo is we're also going to move the files onto those new disks we've just created. So we'll just create the database to start with. We've just got this warning popping up telling us that we do need to restart the Microsoft Exchange Information Store, so we're happy with that. We'll come into our services. We'll just find the Information Store. And all we do is we'll give that a restart, and it restarts fairly quickly. And once it's restarted, next thing we'll do is we'll just come in and we'll just have a look at some of the settings that we can modify on our mailbox databases. So we'll highlight the database, click the edit button. Brings us in. So on the general page, just general information related to when we actually created the database. Maintenance tab, so we can specify a journal recipient. A journal recipient is somebody who receives all emails that pass through the mailbox database. We can specify when maintenance occurs, so looking at the time we have here, it's going to be when the servers are fairly quiet, hopefully. We can change that if we wish. We're going to enable our background database maintenance 24/7, so we're going to do the extensible storage engine scanning. I do want to mount the database as startup, so I won't turn on the tick box to not mount it. Not going to do restore, so I'm not going to say it can be overwritten by a restore just yet. Not going to enable circular logging. Circular logging allows me to use a very small number of log files. Now what that does is that decreases disk space, but it does also as well decrease recoverability because we're just using these log files over and over again. Limits, so we can specify limits for this mailbox database that will apply to all users. So we'll issue a warning at, let's say, 0.9 gigabyte. We'll prohibit a send and receive actually on this database at 1. Prohibit send and receive, let's say when the user gets to 1.3 gigabytes. Keep deleted items, let's give them 30 days so they can recover if they've deleted emails accidentally from their deleted items. We'll keep the mailboxes if they've been deleted for 30 days. Won't turn on the tick box where it says don't permanently delete items until the mailbox database is backed up. And we'll specify the warnings come out at just, well, 1 AM as we'll go for daily, and we can change that if we wish. Client settings, we can specify where the users will get their offline address book from. So this is if a user has no internet or network connectivity, they will still be able to access the global address list, because what we'll do is we'll take a copy of that global address list and just dump that onto the client device. Once we've modified all the settings, we click Save. We've now saved those settings off. So we've created those new disk locations as well, and what we want to do with MB1 is we actually want to move those files to a different location. So we do that through the Exchange Management shell. First thing I want to do at this point here is I just want to get a list of all the Mailbox databases that we have in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to issue the commandlet in order for me to have a look at those Mailbox databases by using the get-mailbox database. And one of the databases we should see on there is indeed MB1. So we now want to move MB1 to another location. So we'll issue the commandlet to move -database path -identity MB1 EDB file or database file. We're going to move it to e:\db1\db1.edb, and we're going to move the log folder path to g:\logs\db1. So it's just saying at this point here, are we sure we want to do this? Yes, we are. It's then going to tell us that we have to temporarily dismount the database. Are we happy with that? It's going to make it inaccessible. Well, yes, we want to move it. So we'll say yes. As we can see, it's dismounting it. It's moving all the files. Obviously, that database I've just created, it's tiny, so the move's going to be fairly quick. Once it's moved, let's just verify it has moved. So let's come into File Explorer. Let's just look on the E drive. There's DB1. There's the database. Let's look at the F drive. Nothing on there. We didn't move anything to there. But if we look at the logs, we can see the log files for DB1 sitting on DB1 folder on the G drive. So we've now moved that. So let's just come back into our Exchange Admin Center. And all we're going to do at this point here is create a new database. What we're going to do is we're going to call that one MB2. We're going to put that on lon-ex1. But what we're going to do is we're going to modify the database file path. And we're also going to modify the log folder path. And we're going to move it to the new disks that we've already created. So what we're going to do at this point here is we're going to make the database file path f:\db2 db2.edb and g:\logs db2 for the log files. Happy with all of that, we can select save. And that creates our database for us. And very similar to MB1, we can come in and we can make changes. So it's just telling us we need to restart the information store again. So we'll click OK. We'll just restart our information store again. Once that's restarted, we can come back and we'll be able to see details relating to our database. So if we look on View Details this time, we can see information relating, so we can see it's mounting, and we can see information relating to that database itself. So everything looks good there, so we can click Cancel at that point there. We also have the ability to not only make changes through the Exchange Admin Center, we can also make changes as well through the management shell. So let's just make some changes to the database. So what we'll do is we'll do set-mailbox database identity MB2. We're going to change the deleted item retention to 20 days. We're going to enable circular logging and we're going to prohibit the send quota at 2.2 gigabytes. Now one of the things it's telling me here, if I do enable circular logging, one of the things I have to do, as you can see here, I have to dismount and remount the database. So we'll dismount the database. We'll confirm that. Once it's dismounted, next thing we need to do is just mount it again. So we can mount it by using the mount-database -identity MB2. Doesn't mount as quick as it dismounts, but it will mount. And once it's mounted, we can then start putting mailboxes onto that database. And that's the end of this demonstration of creating mailbox databases, managing mailbox databases, and also as well looking at that through the Exchange Admin Center and also as well the Exchange Management Shell. Thank you.